guys, it's Beanie here and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about how we move on from someone you legitimately thought you loved. And I put the word thought in there because when we're being manipulated, lied to, and abused, our judgment about love is clouded at best. And so that's a whole nother video about what healthy love looks and feels like. But for today's video, this is someone who you may have given a lot up for. Someone you have invested a ton of time and effort into, someone you have a lot of history with. So it's no easy feat. But you likely also have realized that this person is not good for you and you're going around in this toxic circle with absolutely nothing to show for it except for the time and effort that you have put into it all. So I think that oftentimes we expect to be able to just turn love off and walk away. And when our hearts don't allow this, we get easily frustrated. And so this video is a bit of a reminder to you to stack your small wins on top of small wins, to take the process into bite-sized pieces and to continuously add new thoughts, behaviors, and habits until you have broken that love line that you thought you needed. Okay, so what small wins am I referring to? The first, and quite honestly, one of the hardest, is to be able to separate your emotional attachment to this person. To be able to step back and be rational about the toxicity of the relationship. You likely can sensibly and logically see that this person is doing you harm, and so the steps to break away from this person have to also be sensible and logical. Easier said than done, I know. You hear sayings like, the heart wants what the heart wants, or when you're dealing with matters of the heart, things are complicated, and I'm not disagreeing. I understand that it's very difficult to just turn love off. But I also know that it is possible to retrain both your mind and your heart. Like I said, I understand that this is easier said than done, but there are a few steps that you can do to help the process along. Living in the past and romanticizing any of the positives of the relationship is going to keep you stuck. But purposefully reminding yourself of the true reality of your situation is going to help you to have what I call absolute acceptance. Absolute acceptance is one of the hardest and toughest places to be. And for me, when I was in the beginning stages of accepting my own reality for what it truly was, this was a stage that I found myself stuck in for way too long. Journaling is a great place to start. Being able to write down the toxic incidences, stories, communications that are your true reality. You can make lists for yourself, like, why should I stay? Why should I go? Pros, cons, goods, bads. You can write down, how did or does this person make you feel? Do you feel valued, safe? Do you feel heard? Did you change? Did they change? What were your standards? Did they meet them, or were you just settling? You have to get real honest with yourself about the truth instead of filling your brain with this fantasy that you wished was the relationship. The stories we tell ourselves dictate so much. And if the story you're telling yourself is a fantasy and not reality, then your actions are going to be based upon that. Now, once you have absolute acceptance, you now are going to have to learn how to not live in your emotions, how to not react to every emotion or impulse you have with regards to this relationship. Being able to sit with your emotions is powerful, but oftentimes when the emotion is an uncomfortable one, instead of sitting in it or with it, we kind of seek to change it immediately and at all costs. This is where the cycle begins. So I would challenge you to work on gaining some self-control when it comes to that uncomfortable emotional state that you find yourself in. And this is where being able to self-soothe comes into play. Having some techniques and strategies that help to talk yourself down from the ledge is incredibly important. And of course, being able to continue to get real honest with yourself about who this person is. Are they a good person? Do they meet your needs? Do they respect you? And once you've done that, you can begin to see it all for what it really is. But if you are unable to ask yourself these questions for yourself honestly, then you're gonna find yourself in this vicious cycle of mourning someone, a character who doesn't actually exist. And then finally, the last step, this is where you begin to take action. Do the thing. Go no contact, move, begin to create the life you want without them. This is where you can be very, very purposeful about your actions and less emotional about your feelings. Take the logical road in this step. Decide on your own what serves you, and then do that. If you were continuously cut by a certain knife in your kitchen every single time you used it, would you continue to use that knife? Probably not. And so the same with this relationship. You have free will to choose different, to create and live your life in a different way. Being able to control and have self-control about your emotions is how you will begin to separate yourself from things that serve you and are good for you and things that don't. And so I talk a lot about this, about sitting with your emotions, separating the logical from the illogical, and different strategies that you can use to be sure that you have self-control with regards to how you're feeling. I do this a lot with my clients. So not being able to sit in your emotions, deal with your emotions and control your emotions is why you may be feeling so stuck and unable to move forward. So like I said, I talk a lot about this in my one-on-one coaching. If you'd like to look at it, I will link it below. I hope this video has been helpful for you and gave you a bit of insight. If it did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already a member of this community, to push that subscribe and alert buttons too. Also, if you're looking for me on socials, I will link that below here as well. And until next week, I'm rooting for you.